Blackbody is a perfect absorber of incident radiation and a perfect emitter of that radiation for objects with temperatures above absolute zero. A blackbody spectrum is radiation from a perfect emitter and a perfect absorber, the wavelengths of which are a continuous band of wavelengths, but of different intensities. Let's first look at blackbody. So a blackbody is basically a perfect absorber of incident radiation and then followed by a perfect emitter of that radiation, and that emission of radiation is going to be based on or a function of its temperature. And so here's an example of what might be considered a blackbody. It's going to absorb all the incident radiation. Notice how black it is. It's going to absorb it, and hopefully it's going to re-radiate those same wavelengths that it absorbed. That's an example of a perfect black body, but nothing is perfect. And so most black bodies are not perfect. Nearly all, if not all, are not perfect. So a star is an example of a black body. Your human body is an example of a black body. A dense gas is an example of a black body. A body of water is considered a black body. So there are many different objects that can be considered black bodies. They might just not be perfect black bodies. So here we have 4 different objects that are black bodies. They all have different surface temperatures, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and 6,000, and they're all emitting this continuous wavelengths of different intensities, or a black body spectrum. So wavelength is increasing to the right, intensity or how much is increasing to upwards, and we're looking at 4 different objects of 4 different surface temperatures. And notice that we don't have any breaks in the wavelengths. You don't see any white lines or decreases or holes in the spectrum. We just have a nice continuous spectrum that is being emitted by this black body type object, and this type of shape that you see to a radiation curve is called a black body, or otherwise known as a continuous radiation curve. This is what we mean by black body and black body spectrum.